Rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
From the gridiron to the ball diamonds, from the hardwood to the ice rinks, from the fairways to the octagon and everywhere in between. If it makes headlines, it's fair game on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. And we welcome you to the Sports Reel podcast live here on the PFC Entertainment Network, along with Tim Sheridan and Eric Mendal. I think they were just here. I don't know if they got kicked off or what, but they're going to be coming back on momentarily. I hope anyway. Weird, because they were just on here right as we were going into the open of the show. So I anticipate I'm going to be getting the notification that they're in the waiting room. But be that as it may, we do welcome you to the show. We encourage you to join the conversation as we're doing this. Right this second, I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the live chat if you are watching us on the Facebook feed. We are simulcasting this on Facebook, YouTube, and of course riverside.fm. With that being said, we have a lot to talk about this week. We're going to be looking at week 2 of the NFL. We're going to be looking at what the Detroit Tigers did last week and what lies ahead for them. Now we're getting into the here they come. We're getting into the very latter part of the MLB season. So we're going to be, we're starting to see the pieces fall into place here in terms of what the playoffs are going to start looking like, because there are 2 National League teams that have already punched their ticket to the postseason. The Philadelphia Phillies have clinched their division, and the Milwaukee Brewers have already secured their spot in the playoffs. But the American League is still wide open at this point. And as we get later into the season, that huge gap that the Detroit Tigers had enjoyed is starting to close a little bit, but there's still no room to panic. With me now live from their studios in Lapeer, Michigan, Tim Sheridan and Eric Mendal. I don't know what happened. As soon as
it was on my end.
You just wanted it to be the Jason show, and you just kicked us out. I see.
I knew Eric. I knew you were going to say something like that.
No, it was on my end. I was over there trying to share to Facebook on a few pages real quick, and I wasn't paying attention. And we heard the intro start, and then all of a sudden it was like, I don't hear anything. Yep. Like we could hear crickets because obviously you're outside, so like you got some fans there in the background cheering for you. Right. Yeah, and then all of a sudden we didn't hear anything, and I clicked back over the page. It said something cannot connect, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, never had that happen. So apparently my internet dropped for a minute, but they have been. I've seen Spectrum in the area earlier, so they've been screwing with stuff. So if we lose it again, and I also waited till my file was fully re-uploaded before I jump back in, so you shouldn't have any issues with turning this thing tonight. Before I jump back in, I let that last one totally upload is all that I'm getting at. But yeah, like it's good to be here anyways on this fine Tuesday from Lapeer, Michigan, bringing you the Sports Reel podcast. I said podcast. What the fuck?
Is it a prod or a podcast?
It's podcast.
Okay.
This is a new era.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have a good week?
Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't really complain, Came over and tried to watch the fight with Tim, and first fight went 10 rounds and started falling asleep in the chair, and I left after that. And I was talking to Amy, Tim's wife. She didn't tell me all the stories, but she told me that all the fights went 10 rounds, so there would have been no way I would have stayed up until 1 o'clock because I was up at 4 a.m. that day. So Saturday morning, I was up at 4. There's no way.
We only made it through the next fight, and we watched that one.
She said
in
in
bed.
20 minutes, you guys went to bed.
Yeah,
she's
like we watched the next fight in bed, which we'll get into the fights in a little bit. But yeah, we didn't like that whole big plan out. We ordered pizza, everything. Eric came over. Fuck, they just started that thing way too late at night. Like 9 o'clock at night is too fucking late for us old people.
Well, it's just like the 2 Monday night games last night. The first one started at 7. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter started at 9 o'clock. I'm like, this is great. This is when it should happen. Not at fucking 8:30, and then halftime's at 9 or 10 o'clock, and it's like
The Chargers game didn't even start till after 10.
well, yeah, because they had 2, but I'm like, they just need to do Monday night at 7:30.
Yeah,
be an hour early would do everyone justice.
That's the problem with the whole West Coast thing, and that's
Fuck the West Coast.
that we ran into.
They don't even get rain. Fuck them.
And that was part of the issue with the Crawford fight on Saturday because in Las Vegas, starting at 9 o'clock and having 3 fights before the main event, and every single one of them went the distance.
Yeah,
it is too much because I didn't tune in for the preliminary fights, and again, we'll talk about that more later on in the broadcast here. But let's start, gentlemen, with MLB.
I gotta tell you, I didn't tell you how I'm doing. Yeah, we can't skip the
no one
introductions.
cares.
Nobody
no one
gives a
gave
fuck
a
about
shit.
Oh, fine. I don't want to tell everybody how I did or what we did
come up
last
with
weekend.
another bear hunting story or someone bit off their big toe.
We didn't go bear hunting, but we did go woodchuck hunting.
Okay.
But no. I just like to spread my joy around this world and tell everybody how much of a fantastic weekend I had. I can't tell you what I did, but I can tell you that it was a lot of fun. But I'm sure if you tune into the Clouse of the Heart podcast here pretty soon, whenever they can actually get together and record, you'll find out everything that I've done. But I can tell you that I enjoyed it. So
what if I just play spoiler because I just say what you did because I know what you did?
I don't even remember what I did right off the top of my head right now, but I know we went somewhere.
I know Friday you worked.
I did work, and I worked Saturday also. Yeah. So yes, it was a joy at work.
Then we came and watched one fight. And
we did.
Started falling asleep.
Yeah, and then Sunday we did something.
You guys went golfing.
We did not go golfing.
Yeah, you
went
did.
To the Renaissance Festival.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh,
you did.
Yes. But you can't I can't tell you how it went.
Tigers baseball. That's what we need to talk about.
I can't tell you how it went, but I can tell you it was fantabulous.
I can tell you from the pictures that I did see, it did look like a good time. Now, can I tell you something? I have never been to the Renaissance Festival.
Really?
Same here.
Not one time.
It's
I
a lot
man.
of fun.
That whole era just isn't my thing. The Vikings and all this shit. Like, it just isn't my thing, I guess. And
if we're gonna do it, let's just go to different towns and start pillaging. Let's actually really live it. Let's just not. Oh yeah, let's get a pickle and a turkey leg. No, let's go pillage some shit.
Damn, turkey legs are so good.
I bet they are, but let's really live the days.
I may or may not have eaten a turkey leg. I cannot indulge on what I did.
You gobbled down that turkey leg.
I'm gonna let that one lie. That could have opened up a whole door here. But yeah, I did
OnlyFans
see some pictures online and look like a good time. So
that wouldn't be a bad idea. Just start an OnlyFans of me just eating turkey legs covered in turkey grease all over my chest, through my chest hair, just rubbing it all in. Somebody will pay to see that shit. And
then I'll just be, shotgun and bush lattes. Yeah, we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Jason's disgusted with us, but let's talk sports. We're here to talk about sports.
I think he just envisioned it in his head.
I was good up until the grease in the chest hair comment. Everything was fine up until that. Now I kind of want to throw up in my mouth a little bit, but be that as it may.
It might be that turkey grease coming out of your mouth, though, so don't want to throw it
up. Let's look at MLB right now as we kick things off here live on a Tuesday night. And if you want to join the conversation, the link is posted on the Facebook chat. Hit that, brings you into the waiting room. I get the notification, hit the button, boom, you're on the show with us. Or you can correspond through the traditional chat on the Facebook feed.
Come on, Dave. Where are you at, Dave?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't heard from him yet. So like I had mentioned at the very top of the program, two teams have stamped their tickets to the postseason, both of them in the National League. The Milwaukee Brewers, the best team in all of baseball right now. Surprisingly, they have not clinched their division, but they did stamp their ticket to the postseason. And the Phillies have indeed clinched their division. Now, in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays are still in the number one spot. The Detroit Tigers still at number two, 3 games behind the Blue Jays. When you look at the divisions, though, the gap between the Tigers and the Guardians has narrowed a little bit. Still in commanding lead, still in a very good spot here, but just 6.5 games ahead of the Guardians. But the Kansas City Royals are starting to make some noise. The New York Yankees and Red Sox are always threats. The Seattle Mariners are in the driver's seat in the AL West, followed by the Houston Astros. So there's a lot of teams jockeying for position here. I'm not panicking yet. I'm kind of happy that the Tigers are not in the number one spot for the reasons that we have talked about the last few weeks here. That layoff, if they were to get that first round bye, that could be very beneficial for the Tigers. But when you look at last week's action, man, they dropped a series to the Mets and then dropped a series again to the White Sox, but they were dominant against the New York Yankees, which I was surprised by this, man. They came out those first 2 games 12-2 on Tuesday, 11-1 on Wednesday. What is so goddamn funny? What's happening?
Just look at the comments.
You got to highlight that comment.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Good to see you, Dave.
Good to see you, Dave. My goodness. Yeah, I was on the complete opposite screen. I didn't even see that. So good to see you. Anyway, be that as it may, any thoughts on what the Tigers did here last week?
Well, the first thing I want to know, because I've been so fucking busy lately. The last series I even caught was the Yankee series, where they were not only beat the Yankees, but you were right, they dominated the Yankees. I mean, just put a ton of runs up on them. Scooble, any update on his injury from last week?
Not that I've seen.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I know he left a game early. Like,
yeah, other than that, they have been pretty quiet as to what is exactly going on with his. I don't know if it's the neighbors or what's going on, so I do apologize if that's coming through. But be that as it may,
somebody's very angry.
Very, very angry. I'm not really sure what's happening, but anyway, the Tigers has been kind of tight-lipped about Tarek Skubal, and it has, I don't know, man, like he has been in the headlines for various reasons, and now we're starting to hear rumblings of the contract. So yeah. I don't know if that's coming into play and they're just trying to keep everything up under wraps or what's happening. But for me, I'm looking at this like, okay, I'm starting to get concerned about him specifically, not necessarily the team as a whole, because the last thing that I want is any sort of off the field issues or any kind of distractions.
Speaking of distractions,
into the postseason, you know what I mean? Because when you look at this week, they're starting a series with the Guardians that's going to be all important, and then the Atlanta Braves over the course of the weekend. So then you look at next week, and it's another 3-game set with the Guardians. They have got to curb Cleveland, because if they get on that roll that they are known for, we could be in trouble this time next week.
So I haven't looked at the standings right now. How many games are we up in the Central? The last time I saw it, we were 8.5. But last time I actually looked, we're 6. So last time I actually looked, we were actually the best team in the American League. Obviously, we lost a couple series since then. But 6 games with 6 games coming up against Cleveland. That's scary, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, we need to start playing some fucking baseball. Like, I know that they can. Dave asked if that's a coyote in the background. I don't think so, Dave. Cat versus coyote fight, that's a possibility.
That'd be a little bit louder.
Or it's a small child who
got told no.
Yeah, they got told no. I'm not sure what that was, but somebody was very angry. Something happened. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's Jason's outside. If you're listening to this on the RSS feed, Jason's outside.
Yeah,
so he's picking up all the neighborhood noise.
All right,
but
this is how the rest of the season is shaping up. We just mentioned this week 3 games with the Guardians, 3 games with the Braves. They get Monday off. Another 3 game set at Cleveland. That's going to play a factor because Cleveland fans, man, especially when there's so much riding on the line, that makes the movie Major League look like minor leagues, right? So going into Cleveland next week for this series, and then they end the season, the regular season, at Boston. So the Tigers have their work cut out for them, and this is the part where, this is the part where it's just not working out, man. There is a source of concern, but this is what elevates the elite, right? I mean, if you're going to be a postseason team and make a serious run towards the World Series, you've got to rise to the occasion. But when you're losing the last 2 out of 3 series with the Chicago White Sox, like, what the fuck are we doing right now? Where is that sense of urgency? Because, guys, I'm just not seeing it right now.
I would agree with you on that. There's no sense of urgency in their dugout, in their locker room, whatever. I don't get why, but they need to. You got the next couple weeks, and then the real baseball starts, and you better turn it on. And this one against the Guardians is going to be huge. Like, this is always when Cleveland comes and takes it away from us for some reason. Well, we will be good all year round against them, or all season long, and then as soon as when it matters, the last couple weeks when we got a couple series with them, they sweep us every time, it seems like, and then they make a very good a push for the playoffs and take our spot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. Like, I just don't understand. Where is the team that we saw in April, May, and June? Okay, why are they not coming up? Now, I get it. There's several injuries that they're trying to rebound from and all this. But, man, this is where it matters, because you don't want to find yourself as a 3 or 4 seed going into the postseason, because this is where the upsets happen, because you get the wild cards that come into play. And if we're not on one page here, we're going to see an early exit out of the postseason, and everything that we talked about for the last 2-3 weeks, months, I should say, ain't going to mean a damn thing. For me, it's going to make me feel stupid. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. It's crazy to me.
It's going to be that our fears are going to come true. They've played hot most of the season, fizzled out a little bit after the All-Star, couldn't get it back going, and now they're kind of, injuries are hitting them right now when it matters the most. That gap is closed a lot, and they need to really find out who they are as a team if they want to make it a deep run in the playoffs. But reality, I'm like, even if they do make a deep run, you got to go through Toronto, you got to go through the Brewers, Philly, LA is going to be in there. Yankees, yeah, we dominated the Yankees not that long ago, but can you do it 2 times in a row? You might, but it's going to be tough.
It's going to be real tough. When you look at, let me pull up by league here. the top 5 in the American League: the Toronto Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Mariners. I said a couple of months ago the Mariners were a team I was keeping an eye on because they are going to be the dark horse in this, the role of spoiler. And when Seattle gets rolling, man, they capitalize on momentum because they want to win so badly, and they want to topple the establishment of the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Blue Jays and Detroit for that matter are kind of like the new kids on the block at this point of the season on this echelon.
I wouldn't say the new kids on the block because the Tigers have been here before in past years, and they do have a World Series under their belt. So like, I wouldn't say new kids on the block, but since I've been alive, they have not won a World Series, and I would like to see that happen. I've only seen 2 Detroit teams win a championship.
The Pistons and Red Wings.
Yep. And I'm hoping,
I mean, I was technically alive when the Tigers won it the last time.
So yeah,
but I was not in any condition to remember it. Obviously, I started drinking at a very young age. As I open another beer.
Or did you not drink for 11 years and then you turned 12?
No, I didn't drink for 11 months.
Oh, okay.
And then I turned 12 months old.
Okay.
A year old.
Okay.
See, I do remember 84. And I'm sure Dave does too. I mean,
because you guys are old as dinosaurs. Come on.
Well, come on, calm down. That season, it wasn't a matter of did the Tigers win? It was how much did they win by?
Yeah, that 84 team was just fucking lights out.
Dominant. Yeah.
And that's what we were seeing this year, and then they just couldn't keep it rolling, And would I like to see them turn on in October? That'd be fantastic. But if not, you got a lot to build on for next year. That's all I'm saying.
I think they're more Backstreet Boys there, Dave. Not so much NSYNC.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
Because Backstreet's back.
All right. That was really gay of us, but it's okay.
Yeah. What is wrong with you guys?
What's wrong with you?
Hey, you know what? When it comes to Backstreet Boys, when I was a younger man, I hated the Backstreet Boys. I hated them. But when I hear that shit on the radio now, I have much respect for them. Like, I will jam out to some Backstreet Boys. Not going to lie. And I'm also a Swiftie, so that tells you a lot.
That tells me all
he wants it that way.
Well played. Well played.
The Tigers just got to play baseball the way they know how to and keep a little bit of a lead. You got a couple weeks left. Rest some guys. Get ready for the postseason because you have a very, very good shot of making it. But if you don't want to drop to that 3 or 4 seed, because then that's going to cause you to go on the road. And now, how are they going to play on the road?
Bop. Do-wop, do-wop.
Okay.
Just for you, Dave.
Here.
Just for you.
That's enough MLB.
Yes.
Let's talk about these fights.
Hanson was big when I was young.
I watched one fight.
Hold on. I got to say one more thing about the MLB. The Tigers just need to play 500 ball from here on out, and they can win this thing.
I said that the last month.
Yeah, I know. But, like, literally, they're at that point of the season. If they just play 500 ball, they're golden. That's what we need out of them, and hopefully Scooble is not really injured. That scares me that they're so tight-lipped about it. Hopefully there's not much going on there. Something about his ribs that came out, but haven't heard a peep from him since, and he should be coming up in the rotation here pretty soon. So maybe he's not hurt and he just shows back up in the rotation here coming up. So we'll see what happens. Now, that was all that I had to say because I didn't get to say a lot.
Well, you're more worried about Backstreet Boys and Taylor Swift and booby doo boppy bop motherfucker.
Bop doo wop doo wop doo.
Yeah, that's what you're worried about. See right now. Okay. So bring up these fights. I watched the one, so I know what I've seen.
Okay, so I'm probably in the same boat as Jason was, where I didn't catch the actual Canelo Crawford fight until last night. Actually, me and Amy sat down and actually finished watching it. Because like Eric said, like we had that whole fucking shindig going on at the house and we lasted one fight and was like, we're too fucking old for this shit.
I was falling asleep. I was up at 4 a.m. Literally, Tim's like, Eric's falling asleep. I'm like, my head was probably cocked back. I was probably going out.
He was passed the fuck out in the chair behind me. Like he fucking ate like 6 pieces of pizza and he was fucking done.
I did eat a lot of pizza.
But
No, let me clarify something. I did watch the fight live. I did stay up for it. I was just pissed off about
You're
it.
a third shifter, so you that's like normal for you. That's like
fair.
that's normal for you. Like, but us, like,
so let me ask you,
I'm up at 5 every day, man. Well, you're still at work at that time.
What time did Canelo and Crawford actually start?
1:30
after midnight. Yeah, actually, yeah. It was around 1 o'clock.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
like,
no, there was no way we were fucking making that.
No, like that's the problem with these. Like they should never do this shit on the West Coast because it's outrageous.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
you gotta think if they start at 8 over here, it's 5 o'clock and at the West Coast, it's perfect. It's like the beginning of or the after, well, not beginning of the afternoon, but it's dusk. Like it'd be fine for them to watch it on TV, but not us. Like we got to wait until 9 o'clock, and it's like, dude, we can't do that.
No.
My thing is you didn't need 3 undercard fights. I mean, unless the maximum of that weight division was going to go like 5 rounds, but to have all 3 fights go the distance, 10 rounds.
Dude, that was nuts.
And the Canelo Crawford fight was 12.
Yeah,
and that went the distance.
I'm surprised that one went the distance.
So
you know what surprised me most? Can you look up the actual fight card, because I don't want to miss these guys' name, because I mean the Canelo Crawford fight was an awesome fucking fight.
We already knew the first one,
but
his name was Muhammad, so that's an inside joke right there.
Yeah. The second fight, what were those gentlemen's names of the night? Because those guys, I cannot believe went 10 rounds.
They just were beating the shit out of each other.
Oh my god, they went to war, and they were both bigger dudes, and they were just beating the shit out of each other. Like, and I'm talking fucking bombs back and forth the entire time. Like, I'm surprised they went a full 10. I just want to give them their due respect, because those guys both have iron jaws.
All right. Okay. Muhammad Alakel versus John I'm gonna mess this up.
Run it.
John Ornelas.
Close enough. I like it. That was the fight that we actually watched.
And Muhammad
all together.
Muhammad boxed pretty well.
Yeah. Muhammad won that fight.
Yep.
Right?
He won by decision.
Yeah. The second fight.
Christian Mabili versus Lester Martinez.
Yeah, those guys beat the shit out of each other, and I was all about it. They went to war against each other, and I'm surprised that one went 10 rounds. I think Billy won, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. And then Caleb Walsh took on Fernando Vargas Jr.
So that one, we just watched that one again yesterday. Caleb Walsh, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, he just outboxed Vargas Jr. And that's actually Vargas Jr. His dad was Vargas Sr., which is a former world champion. Like, he's 90s, you know, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of him. But yeah, like the fucking Irish boy just outboxed Vargas Jr. and it was a good fight, but once again, not as exciting as the second fight. But it just shows the level of skill that Caleb had compared, and just a little bit more experience. I thought for sure that one was going to end in a knockout, because I was looking at their records, and I think Vargas Jr. was like 17-0. They were both undefeated going into this fight. He was 17-0 with 14 knockouts, and I want to say Caleb was 14-0 with 11 knockouts. So I thought there was a good chance that one of these guys was going to knock each other out, but it just didn't happen. They went the distance. And Vargas Jr. just got a little outboxed there, but both those guys put on a good show. It wasn't as good as the second fight there, but I'm surprised none of these fights ended in a knockout. And then the Canelo and Crawford fight, that was a fun fight to watch. I am honestly surprised that one went the distance also, because Canelo was landing bombs, but he was just being outboxed. I mean, just the technical boxing that Crawford was pulling out of his ass there, and just like Canelo would hit him once and he'd come back and hit him 4 times. And like it just shows Canelo's got a jaw on him too. Like to take as much damage as he did with a lot of those hits, because Crawford was just pretty much attacking his head the entire time. Like Canelo would go for the body and he would end up, getting smacked 4 times in the head right after that with some good shots. Did you see the clip of the one shot that Crawford hit him with, where he fucking got hit with the left and then like Canelo, his whole body spun around and then he turned back and looked at him and was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like he was just surprising him. And it was really surprising. I mean, both those guys are Canelo, I think, is 35. And Crawford is going to be 38 here real soon, if he's not 38 already. So they're kind of getting towards the end of their careers. But I mean, in my opinion, it was the best fight of the night, especially technically, technical skill. And actually just, I mean, those guys landed so many punches against each other. I'm surprised they went the distance. But it was one hell of a fight. I know Eric didn't get a chance to watch that one, but Jason, your thoughts on it?
I was watching the inside of my eyelids.
It was the fight it needed to be, given the amount of hype around it, surrounding it, because man, for weeks, that's all we heard about. And like we were watching Monday Night Raw, and they had 3 or 4 ads during Monday Night Raw. They even put it up on their Titantron the week of. Like there was a lot of anticipation for this fight. Now we found out later on why that was, because TKO was actually the overall promoter of this thing. Dana White was front and center with this. His first endeavor in trying to promote a boxing fight, or a boxing show, I guess it was. From bell to bell, it was a tremendous fight. It was, I likened it to Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. I loved that fight as a kid, just because, I mean, it was controversial at the end because a lot of people thought that Hagler had won, but they gave the decision to Leonard. But man, when these two, and the other thing that I took away from this was the mutual respect that these two guys had for one another. I really appreciated that. We sat on here last week and said, it's this kind of fight that really needs to bring boxing back to prominence. And I think they delivered on that. The crowd was into it. They had 40-something thousand people in Allegiant Stadium, and they broke all kinds of box office records for a fight. And that's I haven't even looked at the Netflix viewing numbers yet. But here's the thing. There is, because I went on Twitter after the fact, and a lot of people on this side of the country all said the same thing. This son of a bitch went way too long. And so many people were wanting to watch this fight. They weren't staying up till 1:30 in the morning.
No, it's too hard.
It is. So my thing is, if you want to have a night of boxing, have the preliminary fights on ESPN or something along these lines, and save the main event for the platform on which it's being promoted.
Or just start the show at 6 p.m. Eastern with all the preliminaries, so that way the main event goes on at about 9 o'clock.
Well, okay, so
nothing saying that you can't start this thing early.
Yeah, but if they all went the distance, that the first fight went an hour, so you're looking at 7 right there. So it would start about 10 o'clock. But yeah, that's still way better than 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
right.
Only night shift people seen that, and then and that's only a handful of people in this country.
We don't even call them night shifts; we call them vampires.
Okay, well,
Jason's a damn vampire.
Facts. For
he sparkles in the sun,
but
as he's outside,
I can see the sparkles off his forehead right now.
Yeah,
granted, it is a little warm outside for September in Michigan. Okay,
no, it's not. This is a common thing now. It's always warm in September.
I'm just trying to give him a little credit so people really don't think he's a vampire.
I don't give a fuck what they think, if I can be honest with you. Who knows? I might be Dracula in the current form. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Dave said it was weird that those dudes kissed each other after fighting for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, did you miss that?
Yeah, I missed that.
Okay. Yeah, no, they did.
I do have to. So
In some countries, that's just a show. That's just like respect.
I do have to say,
you're gonna kiss a dude, you should probably just kiss him on the lips. So like, go for it. Like, don't just kiss on the cheek. Just man up and do it.
I do have to say, I give, the time issue that you brought up. There's ways that you can do it. Obviously, every fight's going to have the preliminaries. So maybe start this thing a little bit early, or like you said, add it to ESPN. It's a whole TKO, thing now. They have the big working relationship with ESPN, but obviously this was a full Netflix deal, and I don't know if Netflix would want to work with ESPN on that. So let's start this son of a bitch early. Obviously, it's Netflix. They can start it anytime they fucking want. It's
right.
It's worldwide. Don't kiss his nipples. Damn it, Dave. But once again, I want to bring up the fact that Netflix, keep this shit going, because Dave brought this up a minute ago, how nice it was to not have to pay, so much money for a fight.
Yeah, they're definitely doing something good there, like where you can actually watch it.
You want to bring, and I take this back to Jake Paul again, because he's the one who started the whole deal with Netflix that brought fights to Netflix with him and Tyson. Netflix needs to start grabbing into these categories. One, it's great for boxing. It was good to actually sit down and watch boxing, because nobody pays for that shit anymore, obviously. So, but if it's there, we're gonna watch it. And there's obviously still really good fighters out there, but the names aren't there. Obviously, Canelo's a name, but before Canelo, I mean, Crawford was 42-0. I've never heard of the dude.
It's just smart, because Netflix is making more money because people don't want to watch the fight. Well, you can probably buy it for a month and that's it, or a day or something. They're going to make their money, but it's easier to watch. It's not, I got to buy the pay-per-view that's $69.99 for one time, and
$69.99. Have you watched any of the fucking UFC fights? Are like $100 a month. That's why I'm so glad they're going to Paramount.
Okay, but I'm just saying though, like that was a number in the dark. But it's like, then if you pay that money, you would stay up until 1, because you're like, I spent the damn money. I want to watch it. Now it's like the people, it's on Netflix. Is okay. I just record it. We'll watch it later, just like Tim did. It is what it is. That shit happens. That makes more sense nowadays.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the final numbers, like you were bringing it up, not only the live who stayed up and watched it, but that'll kind of give them a feel of how many people stayed up to actually watch this thing and how many people rewatch it afterwards, so they can kind of test. Because granted, I understand this is kind of a new era for Netflix when they're getting into the live things. They've been doing it with WWE obviously for a little bit now, since January. They're doing it with NFL now. They did it last fall, which I'm super excited about. NFL on Christmas Day this year on Netflix. The Lions are one of those games.
Lions will always play on the holidays.
Well,
always.
They've been getting a lot of those big games now because they were the #1 watch team last year.
Are we transitioning to football then?
We will transition in a minute because we have to get over there real soon. But yeah, Netflix, keep it up, because I'm really loving what you're doing when you're giving, you're bringing boxing back into the spotlight. Because granted, I love MMA, UFC, great. I can't wait till they start putting these fights on Paramount, because I have Paramount and I'll be able to watch them without having to pay $100 a fight. So it's going to be really cool to catch these, and it's going to bring new fans of the thing, but it's also going to bring back, boxing's been around for thousands and thousands of years. It was
thousands.
Yeah, like literally. You go back to the Romans, they were fighting, they
weren't fighting bare knuckle. They were trying to kill each other.
Well, yeah, it's kind of changed over the years.
Yeah, they had spears and swords. Yeah, that's fight to the death, not just boxing.
Boxing has been around for a long, long, long time. So it's good to see.
Fact check him, Jason. When was boxing invented? Fact check his ass right now.
Okay, we're gonna
thousands. I will put money on it. It
It
is not thousands.
You can go back to Abraham Lincoln was, a heavyweight champion.
That wasn't thousands.
Jesus was a former middleweight champion.
I heard that from the Pope himself, who was American.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 16th century.
Okay, so we're talking at least 400 years.
Okay,
500 years because it's always a century back,
thousands.
Right?
So you're about 1,500 years off. So yeah, not thousands.
But fighting in general,
well, yeah, everyone's
been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah,
ever since man, woman, the humankind came to this world. They fight each other. That's what we do.
They fight animals too, and then if you die, they eat you. But if you
we're
kill
going
the animal,
off
you get to
on
eat
a
them.
weird sidebar.
So we're gonna bring up. It's been 2,117 days since Ohio State has not beat Michigan. So we're gonna start talking football now.
What day do they play Michigan?
They usually play them November, like late November.
Okay, so you can keep counting until November because they're probably gonna lose this year.
That's what we thought last year.
That team's not
and they went into the horseshoe and beat them 13-10 when Michigan had like nobody.
All right. Jason Clouse
of the Jason.
I have some notes for some games that I actually watched on
you always have notes.
The NFL this week. I don't have them all, so Jason will be in charge of covering the games that I don't cover here.
November 29th will be Ohio and Michigan. Ohio State and Michigan.
In the big house.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You literally had a quarterback that beat cancer and went into the horseshoe and beat Ohio State. And you think they don't have a chance this year? Come on, dude.
Dave right here says ancient Greek boxing goes back to the 8th century BCE.
Dave, shut the fuck up. You don't know that. You're just saying shit.
That's thousands and thousands and thousands of years, Eric.
He's just starting shit. I believe, don't know. He wasn't around.
Dave has walked this earth for a long time. He's
That's why we call him
Dinosaur
Dave. That's why we call him Dinosaur Dave.
No, we call him Vic Vanity or Dave. What the fuck was your other Sloppy or Fatty McFatterson? That was my favorite gimmick ever. Was Fatty McFatterson?
Start these stats. Let's hear these stats.
All right, so let's break it into the NFL this week because we had one hell of a week in NFL. First game we'll bring out, obviously, I mean, we all watched it. Green Bay still running hot. They beat Washington 27-18. This makes me question. I know when Isaac was on the show the last time, I thought Washington was going to have a little bit of a fall off here with Jaden Daniels. People kind of got him figured out. And I don't know if that's what this was yet or if it's just Green Bay is currently that dominant. So far, Green Bay looks like the most complete team to me in the NFL. Especially that defense. That defense is lights out. But
okay, but was Jaden Daniels fighting that injury all game? Because now he's out for a couple weeks.
He's out for a couple weeks.
So did it start beginning of the game? Was he fighting that? So he did not look like the Jaden Daniels that we know and love. But
no, I mean, I don't love him.
He's a superstar in the NFL. He's bringing Washington back.
I think he had a CJ Stroud season to start out the.
CJ Stroud's garbage.
Yeah, now, but his first season, he looked fucking lights out like a fucking superstar.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He looked okay.
He took that team to the fucking playoffs his first season, and he looked fucking lights out. People thought he was going to go all the way, and then he had because
the coach in Texans. The
Jason's
Texans
like,
coach.
what the fuck is going on? Anyways, let's get to the stats here. It was 27-18. Obviously, Green Bay took it. Jaden Daniels, 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He also had 17 rushing yards, which is odd for him. And that could have been the injury playing into it. Only 17 rushing yards.
Yeah, usually he has at least like 40.
Yeah. Ertz had a pretty decent game there, 64 yards, 1 touchdown.
For a dude that, sorry for interrupting you, but for Ertz, that was, that his peak was that 2017 Eagles team.
Yeah.
And he's still producing. He's like a Tony Gonzalez, Jason Witten tight end. Like he's older, but he's that Swiss Army knife in your back pocket. You need a catch, you go to Zach Ertz because he's feeling flirty.
Yeah, he's a great tight end. I was actually excited the year that we grabbed him, but we never actually used him. We left him on the practice squad.
Yeah, no, that was stupid. I don't know why we didn't.
We grabbed him and he was on the practice squad, and since then he's been with Washington. But anyways,
really good.
Jordan Love, 292 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Jacobs, 84 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. And then Kraft, he was 124 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. He had a hell of a fucking week for a tight end there.
Well, that's going to be, honestly, I feel like Jordan Love's main target now that Reed's out.
Yeah,
broke his collarbone. Yeah, it's going to be him and Dobbin or whatever, that other receiver, 87.
Yep.
That wears that stupid foam thing on his helmet. I'm like, dude, you look retarded, but I get you're trying not to get a concussion. But it's like it's going to be his main target is going to be that tight end.
Yeah,
Kraft, 100%.
So are we feeling? And I want Jason's opinion on this too. Are we right now? Obviously, we'll get into the Lions game here in a minute. But so far, Green Bay, the offense to me, it looks okay. I think the biggest threat in Green Bay right now is that defense. That defense looks complete. Micah Parsons was fucking off the wall dangerous this past week. He was in that backfield almost every fucking play. Like, he really didn't give Jaden Daniels any time to throw this ball. And Jaden Daniels, obviously with only 17 yards rushing, couldn't escape the pocket. So, I mean, is this something that we really have to watch out for in the North? Is Green Bay going to be too tough? And also, I brought up the fact of the way that they're playing right now kind of reminds me of the Lions last year at the beginning of the season. They're very aggressive. They're playing at a very fast pace. And are they going to have to worry about the injury bug? Obviously, they had injuries on offense this past week, and that could, end up inhibiting them from going on. But is the defense going to have the same injury bugs that Detroit had last year with the way that they're playing?
Well, and Michael Parsons still fighting that back injury. Like, he's still not 100%.
He's going to fight that for life. Trust me. I have the same L4, L5 herniated disc.
Yeah, but he's also trying to push around 300-pound men and shit like that. And you're, not saying nothing against you, but like, one wrong move with that, he might be out for the season. So yeah, I feel like
he might be out forever.
That is very true. So I feel like, they're going to be limiting him the whole season. I really feel like they will. But go ahead, Jason. What is your opinion on this question that Tim Sheridan asked you?
After watching what I did with Green Bay and Washington, and then when I combine that with what I saw on Sunday night with the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons, the Green Bay Packers is the biggest threat to the Detroit Lions in the North this year.
I think in the NFC in general.
In the North, because they're the only team that's relevant in the North against the Lions. But the NFC, you mean?
Yes, but here's the thing: if Green Bay continues to play at the high octane on the defensive side of the ball that they are, this is not sustainable for the entire season. And if you are a Packers fan, I would be concerned about Micah Parsons' injury, the way he's playing right now is remarkable. He shouldn't be able to play the way that he is right now. And I feel like with every week, with every win, with every amount of success, he's going to keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it until somebody pushes back. And when they do push back, he's down and he's out for the rest of the season. So the defense of the Green Bay Packers is alarming, and it is something that needs to be taken very seriously. I just don't see it on this level on a consistent basis going forward for the duration of this season.
Well, and here's the thing we got to think about too. First week, Packers played a very, very unprepared Lions team. A lot of missed assignments. Stuff was not going right. Then you go into week 2 and you play a Washington team that Jaden Daniels might have been a little banged up going into that game, and he couldn't have been his whole self. So what were you getting out of that? I don't think it's only week 2. It's going into week 3. I don't think Green Bay has really played a team that is going to test who they are yet. The Lions could have if they were more prepared. None of our starters played a single down in preseason. Lions were not prepared week 1. We all can admit that. Week 2, we don't know if Jaden Daniels was 100% or not. Probably not. So what have they really faced yet?
And you got to go back to the thought where I thought Washington was going to have a down year anyway.
That too.
I don't know.
He might have that sophomore slump, but it's like I don't think Green Bay. Are they look prepared? Yes, but they're playing a lot of teams that are not prepared. They play 2 teams that are not prepared 100%. Put them against Buffalo, Baltimore. I can't even say Kansas City because this is Patrick Mahomes' first year going 0-2. Put them against the Eagles, Baltimore, Bills. Might be a different story for the Packers right now. They might not be 2-0.
Yeah, put them against Kansas City in week 7 or 8 when they actually have some receivers back on the field, and then we could see what they're doing. But
that's fair. All right. What's the next
stats? Let's go to the next one. We had the Baltimore Ravens over Cleveland. That was a shit game. Obviously, we all picked Baltimore on this one last week, but it was 41-17. Joe Flacco still came out, passed for 199, 1 touchdown. We had Judkins for 61 yards rushing and Jerry Jeudy 51 yards receiving. Lamar came out with 225 yards passing with 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Derrick Henry actually got held to 23 yards rushing, which was surprising. No touchdowns for Henry. To hold that man to 23 yards, that kind of shows you that Cleveland defense is, besides giving up all the passing, they're pretty good at stopping the run.
I think they were more worried about stopping the run because they were talking shit to Henry throughout the week.
Well, they definitely stopped him to hold him to 23, and I think if I remember, I didn't write down the attempts, so I think he had 11 attempts for 23 yards.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then you had Flowers for 75 yards receiving. Obviously, this game kind of went the way that we thought it was. Baltimore is a threat so far. They obviously played a team that wasn't really on their level. We'll find out how Baltimore actually does this coming up week. Next game, I actually watched this one. This one was a lot of fun, and it kind of blew my mind that it ended the way that it did. But you had Dallas 40 over the Giants 37.
Dude, I was not ready for the Giants to come out that way.
No, neither was I. But I mean, we look at the score and we go, this game was a competitive game, but you got two subpar teams currently that kind of went at it, and they both played at each other's level. But it was exciting. Fucking Wilson threw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns. Scatterbo 45 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Malik Neighbors 167 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's one hell of a game. Dak Prescott 361 yard passing, 2 touchdowns. Williams 97 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. CD Lamb 112 yards receiving. This game actually went to overtime.
That bum, I needed him to get a touchdown this weekend.
Yeah, he didn't. He had a good week, over 100 yards receiving, no touchdowns.
Usually he does very, very good against the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. I mean, this game was exciting. Malik
Neighbors, Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors kept them in it. Malik Neighbors is a great wide receiver, and Wilson dipped back into that 2015 season of him and actually threw the ball very, very well.
Yeah, 450 yards passing. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, that is a lot. Well, it's a passing league now. That's the problem.
But this one went to overtime. If I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 possessions each. I want to say it was 3 possessions each in overtime. And then Dallas ended up finally winning it with a field goal after a fucking Wilson. He threw an interception there at the end that allowed Dallas to come back to win that thing. But they were almost 2 field goal range themselves. They could have won this game very easily. I think Jason's looking it up right now to see how many possessions there were in overtime. But it was insane to go back and forth. It was a
lot, yeah.
And it went down to the wire in overtime. I thought it was going to end up being a draw with as much time. And these guys just couldn't get past each other in overtime with as many points as they put up something like 41 points in the fourth between the two of them or some shit. It was insane, the back and forth in the fourth.
Well, the Giants have an underrated defense. Giants have a very good defense.
They do. It obviously shows. But neither one of these teams are really anything to really sweat. Dallas, they're not very good this year, and the Giants still aren't very good this year. Russell Wilson he had a great game against Dallas, but Dallas's defense isn't much to talk about. They do pretty well stopping the run.
Yeah, but
I did notice that watching them week one.
Their defense is not good.
Yeah, their pass defense is horrible. That secondary is horrible.
Yeah, their DBs get cooked all the time. Okay, next stats.
Jason, while you're looking that up, I'll move on to the next one. But anyways, the next one real quick. I watched this one obviously because Amy is a big Buffalo fan. She loves Josh Allen. But the Buffalo Bills over the Jets, it was 30-10.
What we figured would be.
Yeah, I mean, we figured that'd be, and that leaves, I mean, that brings us back to our old coordinators here from Detroit. They're both starting out the season 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Allen, 148 yards passing. I'm surprised that was it. I didn't get his rushing yards.
James Cook kind of took over.
James Cook, 132 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns for Cook. Palmer, 47 yards receiving. Jet side, I don't know. What happened to Fields? Did he get hurt in this?
I think so. I think he's like not 100% hurt, but yeah, he's definitely got banged up.
Or because I only watched part of this game because I saw that Tyrod Taylor had 56 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Fields 49 yards rushing, and then Wilson 50 yards receiving. Game kind of went the way that we thought it was. It's actually, I'm surprised Buffalo didn't stop him out more than this, and Allen only have 148 yards passing. But the Jets have some issues.
We knew that was going to happen.
Obviously, both our former coordinators there are not doing very hot, and we'll get to Ben Johnson here in a minute because I got some thoughts about Ben Johnson once we get to that Lions game. But The next one had Seattle versus the Steelers. Seattle 31-17. Seattle over the Steelers.
Well, I had a feeling DK Metcalf was going to get a touchdown against his old team, which I was right.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers proved his age is definitely slowing him down because week 1 compared to week 2, he did not play the same.
Man, I was waiting to hear that from you because last week you were talking up Rodgers
I
crazy.
Really thought, I'm like, okay, he's got an offensive line, he's got receivers, and I thought he's going to do good. He actually had decent running back. I'm like, he'll be fine. But no, like
I was telling you, this was just like last year. I had that same conversation where I was like, Aaron Rodgers is back and the Jets are going to be scary because they had a really good game. And I'm like,
suck.
Aaron Rodgers went off and all of a sudden it just fell off the planet. But anyways, Sam Darnold, 295 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Walker, 105 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Smith and Jigba, 103 yards receiving. Against Rodgers only threw 203 yards, and he had 1 touchdown. Warren, 48 yards rushing, and then he had 86 yards receiving. Definitely not a great outing for Aaron Rodgers compared to week 1.
No.
Obviously, Seattle, I mean, it's hard to say where Seattle is.
Seattle's a sleeper, man. They got Sam Darnold did great last year in Minnesota. He's still proven he can sling the ball and make good reads and all that. And Seattle could be a very, very sleeper team in that West that you got to watch out for.
Dave, good call. Mac Jones was a beast this week. We'll get to Jason will have to bring up the results of that game because I did not watch that one, did not write it down. Next game after that. This one, I mean, obviously I followed. Everybody knows I'm a Kansas City fan. We had the Eagles 20 over Kansas City at 17. This game kind of, neither team really stood out to me at all. Their defenses kind of handled this game, kept it somewhat low scoring. Hurts only went for 101 yards passing, and he barely just creased over that. Barkley was held to 88 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Smith 53 yards receiving. Mahomes had 187 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He also had 66 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. He was a whole offense, to be honest. Kelsey had 61 yards receiving. He had a drop where he could have had a touchdown, but didn't fucking catch it and kind of just popped it out of his hands into the hands of a fucking I think it might have been their safety, to be honest. Turned the ball over. Kansas City is looking a little soft right now. The defense is playing great, just like they always do.
They're not looking soft. They're just not looking like they want it.
Well, I mean,
this is
the way that I look at
Patrick Mahomes has gone 0-2.
Yeah,
beginning of the season.
I look at it this way: it's going to change in a few weeks. Once their number 1 receiver suspended, their number 2 receivers hurt. But I think you posted an update. He should be back here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was on the practice field. So he's once again in a position where he's got no receivers. He's trying to go over the top with balls. He doesn't have anybody fast enough to get past, the defense to go out there on those 1-on-1s and get out there. So he's kind of struggling right now. He tried to take it into his own hands and I mean, he got well over 200 yards taking it in his own hands with 2 touchdowns to try to keep him in this game. The defense did their part. I do have to call out something against the Eagles, though, and I watched back every one of their fucking tush pushes, and they really need to start monitoring that shit because they are false starting on every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Oh,
like
you can write the NFL and tell them that.
Yeah, I mean there was like
but
video
other than
after
that,
video
I
after
don't
video
give
after
a
video.
fuck.
There's a false start on every one of them. But I also think the Eagles are a little soft this year. They're not as good as they were last year, and I don't think they're going to have a deep postseason run. Just watching them so far,
are not as good as they last year either. So
no, but I still think the Chiefs can turn it on and still.
So can Saquon Barkley. And so can Jalen Hurts.
I don't know. The Eagles just don't seem like they have it. And the only reason I'm saying that is I think it's the Eagles defense that's going to hold them back. It's not the offense. That defense doesn't seem.
Travis Kelce's going to hold the Chiefs back because I think him and Taylor Swift are fighting. That's why he's not doing too good.
They're not fighting. They're getting married.
Well,
don't you start that shit.
They're fighting about it.
It's the closest thing to fucking royalty we have.
It's in the universe. It's happening. We all can sense
you know
it.
what's in the universe is Dan Campbell. One day. We'll have you on this podcast.
Okay, well, continue with the next stats.
Anyways, last game I got here, which is the biggest game of the week for us. We're going to get into this Detroit Lions game.
Detroit.
I wanted to say basketball.
So did I.
That's usually the way it goes, but we're going to say football. I mean, Detroit 52, The Chicago Bears 21. Ben Johnson, fuck off. Not really, though. I actually really like Ben Johnson. I'm pissed. You know, they were all talking because everybody had the fuck Ben Johnson chats going on at the game, and some of the players were like, maybe we shouldn't have did that. Like, we all have a lot of respect for Ben Johnson. The only reason why the fans are pissed is because you went to a division rival. Nobody's pissed at Aaron Glenn, and he went to the Jets. Nobody cares. Obviously, you guys are going to leave. You guys did really good. You got a promotion. You moved up to a head coaching position. We all understand that. It's bound to happen. But to go to a fucking division rival, that's why
you can't fault the guy for wanting to take a head coaching job and stay in the division. You can't fault the guy.
Oh, I can fault him because he just got stopped 52-21, so I can fault the shit out of him.
He that did happen, but he took a job.
He took a job. He could have had many more jobs. He took a job where I thought he thought he was going to be comfortable
like that was
with a Caleb Williams.
For him to go.
He saw Caleb and was like, I could coach that kid. No, you can't. That kid's a joke.
It's 2 weeks. Shut up.
That kid's a joke. You start 0-2. You know what? Actually, I feel bad for Ben Johnson. You want to know why I feel bad for Ben Johnson? Because Chicago's the type of team that will probably fire him after week 6 if he goes 0-6. He will be out of a job.
Then guess what? Guess where he'll come back? He'll come back to Daddy. Come back to Big Bad Daddy, Big Dan Campbell.
I don't think he will because we got John Morton.
No, he would come. You're telling me if he got fired, Dan Campbell wouldn't be like, hey, you want to come back week 7? Yeah, he's coming back.
But he wouldn't come back as offensive coordinator.
Fuck yeah, he would.
He'd come back as I'd make him come back as the fucking water boy.
That's because you're an idiot. That's why.
I'd make him come back as the guy who has to clean the fucking jock straps out of the fucking bin in the back.
Yep. See, you're all about those fuck Ben Johnson straps.
Anyways, so this is obviously an exciting game. I'll get into the stats in a second. Oh, actually, I'll do the stats right now.
Yeah, do the stats right now.
Jared Goff. I got to represent Goff right now because he went for 334 passing and 5 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs. He's rocking him 94 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 150 yards, 115 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. He was, a highlight of a lot of people's fantasy teams this week.
Well, because he feels more betrayed by any player, I really feel like.
Oh, yeah, because he got drafted so late.
I meant with the whole Ben Johnson thing, but okay.
Oh, yeah, I mean that too. We had Monty. He went for 57 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Compared to the Bears, Caleb went for 207 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Swift, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Andudze, 120 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns.
Okay, I'm going to ask both of you a question. What is the Lions' record when Sonic and Knuckles both score in a game?
12-0.
Okay, you've seen that stat. Okay.
I think I shared that stat.
I don't know if you shared it, but I've seen it on Facebook before.
When they both score, they're 12-0.
Yep.
This was a highlight for me watching this week because all the mistakes that I seen happen in week 1 against Green Bay, a lot of it was cleaned up this week. Yeah. The offensive line was firing. They were working together. Obviously, you could tell because obviously we were able to start that run game and get that run game going. Without that offensive line, that run game does not work. They were working together. Those rookies were right on their assignments, their blocking assignments. They looked really good. The offense was firing, obviously, to put up 52 points. It was fucking insane. But also the defense really stepped it up this week. It was good to see Hutch get back out there and finally get a sack this year. He's definitely looks like he's getting back into the swing of things. I got scared there for a minute because they chop blocked his ass and I thought they fucked up his
bionic leg.
Yeah, his bionic leg.
But don't give him too much credit because he got that sack late in the 3rd quarter. The Bears rolled over. They already knew what was happening. The Bears rolled over. Like, they literally asked Ben Johnson about when Dan Campbell went for it on 4th and goal. Well, what do you expect them to do? Kick the field goal? They don't kick field goals. They go for it. Yeah,
Ben Johnson knew that was coming because that's what we always did. Even when Ben Johnson was here, we did that.
The Bears rolled over. They rolled over, said, rub our bellies. We already know who Daddy is. It is what it is.
Penis Uhl was like a wall. Yes, he was. Penei Sewell played fucking lights out this week.
Yeah, he definitely fucked that up. Jesus, Dave.
Anyways, no, but don't give. I mean, if you watch the game play for play, Hutch was almost in that backfield on almost every play. Like, there was times where he got in that backfield. Caleb went to go run out of that pocket and he almost grabbed his ass. So he was doing his job. He got 1 sack in it. He came close to quite a few. He was hands-on quite a few. Like, he had a hell of a game. He looked really good. He's only going to get better. People have to remember this dude hasn't played since last October.
Yeah. Well,
just
not even October, but yeah.
It was October 10th last year that he got hurt.
You sure?
Yeah, I looked up the stat the other day. Like,
Okay.
I saw a post that said he hasn't played since October 10th.
Okay. You said almost, so you know what almost count? You know what almost is for?
Fucking Christ. Lord and Savior, please save me from this motherfucker today.
Yeah, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend, not sacks.
But anyways, yeah, the Lions look like this was the Lions that we're used to seeing, to be honest. Now people are like, it's only the Bears. It's only the Bears. Anytime you can put 52 up against another NFL team, that's a fucking good thing, no matter who it is. Hello, Kurt.
I don't know who Kurt is, but hello, Kurt.
Anyways, like, anytime you could put a 52
is that Kurt
points
Warner?
It might be Kurt Warner.
It's definitely not. Sorry, just wanted to interrupt you because I like pissing you off.
Anyways, Jason, your thoughts on this game? I'm sure you watched this one at some point.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I wasn't able to sit and watch the whole thing. What this was the rebound game that we said that the Detroit Lions needed. Granted, it was against the Chicago Bears when you're coming off the loss to Green Bay. But it was a division rival. It was their home opener, and it was an opportunity to make a statement. And man, did they ever.
They had a lot to clean up, and they wanted to prove that. But it was definitely home opener. Ben Johnson coming to town. They wanted to prove a point. They still wanted to show that they are the big dog in the North, and they just, the only one. It's the North is Detroit and Packers. Period. There's no one else. That's it.
Right.
Like, Minnesota's a dumpster, not a dumpster fire, but a shit show. Same with Chicago. It's Green Bay, Detroit. That's what it's going to come down to this year. So that Thanksgiving game is going to be way more important than probably the most important game of the year, because you have to split with the Packers. You have to.
It's Kurt Chaos, Kurt Collins.
Yep. Okay, continue. Sorry for interrupting your opinion on that.
No, go ahead. No, it's totally fine. This was exactly what Detroit needed coming out of the loss in Green Bay and looking ahead to their next opponent, which is we'll be talking about that here in just a second. But this is the game that the Lions needed for multiple reasons. To, as Eric was saying, to clean up some of the bullshit from the Green Bay game, and to establish the home opener. And this, say what you want, feel how you want, but with Ben Johnson at the helm of the Chicago Bears, and then them coming back to Detroit, his first time back to Detroit on the opposite sideline, this was everything it needed to be. So the first couple of series, I was like, oh man, are they going to wind up shitting the bed here? But once they turned it on, they turned it on, and it.
Yeah, but there were some short field situations they got in, and they couldn't capitalize on it. Like Jake Bates missed a field goal. They could not capitalize on what Chicago gave them to, and that they need to clean that up. It's okay you do that against Chicago, but you do that against Baltimore. Baltimore's going to make you pay. Mm-hmm. You have to clean that stuff up, because you go against a good team, you're not going to be able to bounce back the way you did. Not that I like it. Week 4 is going to be a lot easier for us now that Joe Burrow's out. Who's their quarterback situation is not going to be the same.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you're going to start season maybe 3-1, or you're going to start at 2-2.
Yeah, this is going to be our true big test coming up this next week against Baltimore.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge game.
I want to see what we can do against Baltimore. That's a tough game. Can we win it? We always play Baltimore tight, anyways.
No, we don't. Last time we played Baltimore, they fucking kicked our ass.
What year was that?
That was like 3 years ago. They
Yeah, but
fucking demolished us. We don't play Baltimore tight at all.
we played them tight the time before that, though, and they won by a fucking field goal. That was like a 67-yard field goal.
Okay, that was true.
That was fucking unbelievable.
Should we get go ahead?
I don't know if you. Anyways, we're getting tight on time. Jason, if you want to run down the rest of the
picks.
results this week, and then we can run into next week, and then I got Tim's 2 minutes of golf.
All right. To finish up week 2 of the NFL season, we talked about Washington and Green Bay. Baltimore 41-17 winners over the Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals picked up a 31-27 win over Jacksonville. We talked about Dallas, talked about the Lions.
And somehow, sorry for interrupting you, somehow Cincinnati still pulled it out, even though Joe Burrow got hurt and left the game.
Yeah.
He got turf toe, so he's out for 3 months. So I was impressive they still pulled that win out against Jacksonville.
New England Patriots picked up a 33-27 win over the Miami Dolphins. San Francisco 26, New Orleans 21. We talked about Buffalo and the Jets. We talked about Seattle and Pittsburgh. The Rams with a 33-19 win over the Titans. Arizona improved to 2-0 with a 27-22 win over the Carolina Panthers, who are now 0-2. No surprise.
Hell
Indianapolis 29 with a tight win over the Denver Broncos.
We called that too last week.
29-28, yes, sir. Talked about the Chiefs. Atlanta 22, Minnesota 6. That was Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay with a 20-19 win over the Texans, and then the Chargers picked up a 20-9 win over the Raiders. And that was week 2 of the NFL season, and that brings us to week 3. And wouldn't you know it, gentlemen, I actually have a graphic this week.
You always do?
It is going to kick off Thursday night when the
God.
Miami Dolphins will be in Buffalo to play the Bills.
Hey, I'm gonna pull something from you here, Jason. I'm gonna take the Miami Dolphins.
You're fucking stupid.
Got to root for that underdog.
Underdog. It's like going to be the fucking bully beating up the fucking nerdy kid in school.
I really want to root for the Dolphins, but I can't.
Not even a fucking chance.
No, they're not a snowball chance.
Okay, so all three of us can agree Buffalo's going to win.
Oh, 100%. Buffalo's going to win this game.
Okay.
All right, and then the early games on Sunday. The Cincinnati Bengals will be in Minnesota to play the Vikings.
That's such a tough game because both of them don't have their starting quarterback.
I'm still going to take the Bengals because the Vikings just look atrocious this year.
The Vikings have a better defense, though, than the Bengals.
I'm going to go with the Vikings on this.
I'm going to take Cincy. I really think I think Cincy is still going to be able to pull it out.
The Houston Texans will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Texans. Trevor Lawrence has been in the league for 5 years. He's still not a top 10 quarterback. He's not developed into what he was from college. I'm taking the Texans.
I go the same way there.
Yeah, for sure. Indianapolis Colts will be in Tennessee to play the Titans. I was going to go with
Colts. Wow, we're agreeing more. Wow, that's 2 in a row.
Colts are better than what we think they are this year.
Daniel Jones, look at that. Daniel Jones left the Giants. Saquon left the Giants, and they're both doing better.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And then the Washington Commanders will be hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm going to take the Raiders.
I'm going to Washington.
I'm going to go Washington, too.
I think the Raiders under Pete Carroll, they're starting to surprise me. I'm going to take the Raiders.
They scored 9 points last night. They're all field goals.
Yeah, but they
really surprised there.
They played the Chargers, and the Chargers have one hell of a defense.
Okay, continue, Jason.
One of the marquee NFC showdowns this week sees the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going Eagles on this.
I'm going Rams.
I think I'm going to go Rams. Matthew Stafford's playing really good, and that Rams defense is a lot better than people think. And the Eagles are not really turning it on like they have been. I'm going to take the Rams.
All right. The Carolina Panthers will be hosting the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going Carolina on this. They're going to pull the upset.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Birds. I'm going to take the Falcons.
Who do we got?
Carolina and Atlanta.
I'm going to go Carolina just for Jason.
You two are stupid.
Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be traveling to New England to play the Patriots.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bounce back game. I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to take Steelers too.
Same.
Oh, that's three today. Wow.
Green Bay Packers will be in Cleveland to play the Browns.
Packers.
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Then Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the New York Jets.
Buccaneers.
The way that Baker Mayfield's, oh yeah, we have a minute 48. I need a touchdown. We're going down the field and getting it to win and go 2-0. Tampa Bay.
I'm going Jets on that one.
You're stupid.
Well, it's okay. I've been called.
Shouldn't call people stupid. I'm mean.
Sorry, Jason. You're beautiful.
That's mean. Apologize.
I just
again.
did.
3 times.
All right.
Tim, shut up.
The late games on Sunday. Denver will be playing in Los Angeles against the Chargers.
Good matchup. I'm going Chargers though.
Yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh. You're going Broncos. I think I'm going to take the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's definitely turned this team around. I'm going Chargers.
Top division matchup right there.
The Chicago Bears will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys.
Fuck, I'm still going Dallas Cowboys. I think that team's better.
I hate Dallas, but I think they're going to beat Chicago.
I agree. As much as it pains me,
yep.
I mean, if I'm going by who I think is going to win, then I think it's Dallas. The New Orleans Saints will be in Seattle to play the Seahawks.
Seattle,
yeah. Darnold's going to walk all over the Saints. I think the Saints are probably the worst team in the NFL this year.
At this point, for sure. I don't know. Them or the Bears.
Or the Bears. I mean, they're down there with
the Chiefs are in there too. You know, you never know.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Chiefs are going to bounce back. Let's get some fucking receivers back on the field. They'll bounce back, no problem.
The San Francisco 49ers hosting the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals in this.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
They
don't have Brock Purdy right now. I'm going Cardinals. Or George Kittle. Their whole offense is CMC, and he can't do everything.
And then Sunday Night Football sees the Kansas City Chiefs playing the New York Giants.
This has to be a win for the Chiefs. They need this one. If they lose this one and they go 0-3, yeah, I mean, I'll be with you at that point that their season's pretty much junk. But they need that bounce back game. Mahomes is probably going to have to do it all by himself. But I still think they're a better team than the Giants. They're starting out slow. They have no offense. That defense is really fucking good. Still, I mean, to hold the Eagles to 20 points there and hold Barkley to what they held him to, I really think the Chiefs need, not only do they need this win, I think they're going to win it. Like, they have to. Even Dave agrees with me. It's going to be the Chiefs. You mother. You know how many times I have agreed with you tonight? I gave a win to your fucking Carolina Panthers.
Listen, I understand.
And you're going to take away a win from my Chiefs?
Listen, I picked the Chiefs the last 2 weeks, and they have fucking failed me.
Well, okay, then I'm right there with you. Thank you.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
I thank you both.
You're welcome.
I like this reverse psychology thing going on here.
And then Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions will be playing the Baltimore Ravens. This is tough. This is a tough matchup.
My heart says the Lions. If the Lions from last week show up, it's going to be the Lions.
I'm going Lions. I think they're going to fix more of their mistakes. I think they'll be able to hold Derrick Henry. The only problem is they got to contain Lamar Jackson out of that pocket, and that's going to be really fucking hard to do.
This is a prove it game for the Lions.
Yeah, and I'm taking the Lions.
Yeah, this is a game that they need to win to prove that last week was not a fluke, that it wasn't just they won like that because it was the Chicago Bears. This is the toughest matchup that they're probably going to have for the majority of the season, to be honest. And it's also a way tougher matchup than what Green Bay's had yet. So this is definitely a prove-it game. If they can sneak away and win this game, they will prove that they are still the team in the NFC. Not
only that, but the Lions show up on prime time.
Yeah,
that is very true.
Yeah, they haven't.
When the lights are the brightest, man, like the Detroit Lions show up. And so yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit on this, because very much for the same reason that you guys are saying. They're gonna clean some more shit up. They're on prime time, and they're going to demonstrate that they are still very much among the elite teams in the NFC right now. And yeah, it's going to be another Lions win here.
I like it. I'm fucking down with it. But right now,
potty break.
Tim's 2 minutes ago. on the Sports Rail podcast, brought to you by the PFC Entertainment Network. I'm actually behind for a second. I have to look some shit up real quick. Not a huge tournament this past weekend, but what this tournament was the kind of tune-up for the U.S. Ryder Cup team, because the majority of the players played on it. We had Scotty Scheffler, no surprise to anybody out there, that Scotty would come out in a tournament and fucking win it, because this was the 6th win of the year. He's had 2 majors. This guy's just fucking lights out. And you can't argue the fact that Scotty is the best golfer in the world. But yeah, another win for Scotty Scheffler this season. Ben Griffin in 2nd. Lanto Griffin, our boy Lanto Griffin, finished in 3rd on this one. Good to see him up there on a leaderboard. Grillo in 4th. JJ Spawn finished 6th. That's another U.S. Ryder Cup team member that finished pretty high on this thing. Higo 7th, tied with Hughes. Cam the Hammer Young. The Hammer came out swinging and finished in 9th here. Another U.S. Ryder Cup team member that finished pretty decent in this tournament in the top 10. Then we had Hoey, Eckert, Batia, Matt Kuchar. I'm trying to look for another U.S. Ryder Cup team member, kind of where they figured out. Most of them finished pretty decent in this unit. Patrick Cantley in 30th there. Morikawa in 43rd. Not the best week for him. I know Justin Thomas kind of finished. He finished in 69th. Not a good showing for him with the tune-up round for the U.S. Ryder Cup. But I wanted to cover this because we are 2 weeks away from the Ryder Cup. And I know I've made a lot of posts online about this, and it seems like most people are saying that the Europeans are stacked and they're going to win this thing. I don't understand how you can say that they're stacked because they have Rory McIlroy and Justin Rose. And I can't remember fucking Tyrrell Hatton, shit like that on that team. How can you be more stacked when you don't have the number 1 golfer in the world on your team? So I have to argue the fact that because we have Scotty Scheffler on that team, and I understand the format, 2-on-2, you know what I mean? Crossplay. I mean, the format's a little bit different, but how can you not put your money on the U.S. team when you got Scotty Scheffler on it? I think anytime that you have Scotty Scheffler on a team, you got to put your money on that team, no matter what, because it's the best golfer in the world. This guy's setting records. He's the first person that we've seen in many years that could go on to probably contend with a lot of the Tiger records. So I'm excited to get to the Ryder Cup, 2 weeks away. We're going to see what happens. I got my money on the U.S. You guys don't watch golf, so I can't ask you. Dave, who do you got? No, Scotty Scheffler didn't coach the Red Wings, Dave. Dave, who do you got? Ryder Cup. You got the U.S. team, Dave? That's what I want to know. I know Dave watches a lot of golf and PBA. We haven't done a PBA update here in a while. We're going to have to get back to that. But while I'm waiting for Dave to respond there, that's kind of all that I had to talk about. I wanted to cover the Pro Core Championship this past week, which once again, Scotty Scheffler won. We've said that many times this year. So I'll cover a little bit more leading into the Scotty Scheffler didn't coach it. I have no idea. I don't want. Damn it, Dave! Somebody's got to watch golf with me.
I did when I was younger, but not now.
Damn it. I need to get somebody on here that watches golf. But anyways, yes, I'll be covering a lot more next week leading up to the Ryder Cup. Obviously, we have a weekend. Next week, you might see me join the show late. I can't tell you what I'm doing. And I won't be able to tell you what I did after I did it. But I can come up with some crazy, awesome story about something that I didn't actually do, but it will sound amazing. And you'll be jealous of the fact
do something crazy.
I even if I did something crazy, I wouldn't be able to tell you because that's all saved for the Close to the Heart podcast, which should be coming to you at some point today. That was Eric, by the way. But this is that was Tim's 2 minutes golf.
It's going to be the American team that wins the Ryder Cup. Why? Because the Americans have the Pope. So with that,
exactly,
Jason,
I'm finally glad you're coming around on that to understand the fact that the Americans are always going to win because we have the Pope.
I'm hoping Carolina goes 0-18 this year.
Carolina's not going to go 0-18. They're going to win 2 games this year.
Yeah, that's going to be it too.
They're going to win the bye week and they'll win 1 more.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight live. across the live stream and those who join us on the RSS feed after the fact. If you have not done so already, please check out the online store, pfcstore.printify.me, or for all the exclusive fall lineup merchandise, pfcfall2025.printify.me. And for all the latest news and headlines in the sports world, be sure to click, like, follow, and share the Sports Reel podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And for all the other shows, check out pfcnetwork.net. With that, go out this week. Be awesome to yourselves and to each other. And we'll see you next week right here on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Go Lions.
Like and follow.
Go
Like
Tigers.
and follow.
Go the U.S. Ryder Cup team.
2,117 days.